Hello, good evening. Okay, so nakikita nyo sa baba yung time, so it's already good evening. And today we will discuss double entry system. Okay, so this double entry system is an accounting system used in recording transactions. Okay, so it is based on the dual aspect concept that for every change in financial setup, there would be two-sided effect to the extent of the same amount. Okay, so there it is similar to, let me see, this one, Newton's third law of motion. It also applies in bookkeeping or accounting. Okay, so we have here an example. Okay, just to illustrate how does the double entry system really works. Okay, so on January 2, a company paid 14,000 pesos cash for the rent of office space for that month. Okay, if you're going to analyze this transaction, okay, the company paid cash. It means that there is a decrease in cash for the company, and the counterpart of that cash is a rent expense. Okay, in this example, rent expense is one aspect and cash is another aspect. That's why it says dual or double entry, because the minimum account title affected in a certain transaction is two. Okay. By the way, this is what we call single entry in journalizing. Okay. Why did I say it's minimum? Because you can actually record transactions in a compound entry. Okay, so you can see maybe two or more account title in one journal entry, and that is what we call compound entry. That is double entry system. It is similar to the Newton's third law of motion. Okay, that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Make sense? Yes. Accounting rules that for every debit there is an equal and opposite credit recorded in the accounting records. What is debit and what is credit? Okay, we'll discuss that later. For now, you have to understand na meron tayong tinatawag na double entry bookkeeping system. Here is what we call a T account. Okay, double entry bookkeeping is the accepted accounting mechanism for recording and classifying the monetary event of a business entity. Okay? The T account format looks like this. Bakit siya T? Because it looks like a T. And you always remember that T account format is one way to analyze the balances or the transaction in that format. Okay. What is account title? This is actually a name of a categorized transaction. Okay, so for example, all cash is in here. All amounts or the increase in amounts of equipments are all recorded in there. Okay, it is similar to ledgers. We'll discuss that later. Okay. For every monetary event that there is at least one entry on the debit side of at least one account and the credit side of another account. Hindi po pwedeng may entry ka sa debit tapos wala kang entry sa credit. Kahit ibang account title yan. So you should always have one debit and then one credit entry. Okay? Here. The T account gets its name from the being shaped like T. Yan, it is a visual representation of a ledger account, as I mentioned before. It is a tool used to analyze transactions. Yan. And then, a double entry accounting system recognizes both a debit and credit side of the business transaction. When you say debit, it is actually an entry on the left side of an account and the credit on the right side of account. Always po yan. Okay, hindi po nagbabaligtad yan. Si credit andito? No. Si debit andito? No, not either. Okay, there. This is an example of chart of accounts. So meron tayong actually 5 elements. You have asset, liabilities, owners, equity, revenue, and expenses, and all other account titles under that has followed the normal balances of each elements. For example, cash in bank is an asset. Accounts receivable is an asset. Computer equipment is an asset. Accounts payable is a liability. Okay? Ganun po siya. The chart of account is just a list po lahat ng mga account titles na ginagamit ng isang business. A small business may have maybe 20 account titles. A big business may have 100 or 50 and above na account title. It depends po kung paano nila kinaklasify yung mga business transactions nila. Next, another example. Yan. Here is a definition of ledger. It is a group of account also referred as a general ledger. It is actually where you put the transactions or the amounts for each transaction sa kanya-kanyang ledger. So, meron silang kanya-kanyang basket, parang ganon. Okay? We'll understand that later. Before, yeah, as you can see yung previous video natin, it is, there is a photo there kung saan makita mo yung cash and then may mga amounts sa debit side and cash, may amounts sa debit sa credit side. Yan po yung ledger. Pero may iba pa kasi tayong klase ng ledger. Meron tayong subsidiary, meron tayong general. Meron pa tayong no, hindi pala. Special journal pala yun. Okay, never mind. Okay, so this is another example. Okay, usually, ang coding or uh, numbering ng isang chart of account is based sa ganito. Usually, asset starts with 1, liabilities nag-start ng 2, owner's equity nag-start ng 3, revenue is 4, expenses is 5. Ganun po siya. It's a number system para alam mo kung yung account na ginagalaw mo, yung code niya mas madali mong mahahanap pag meron yung code niya. Lalo na kapag nag-work ka ng 100 or more na account title. Okay. These are elements of financial statement. Please memorize this one. Okay, so meron tayong asset, liabilities, and equity. These are our real accounts. And you have revenue and expenses, nominal accounts. Iisa-isahin po natin yan on our next video, okay? Yes. So I think that's all for now. And thank you very much for watching this video. And I hope to see you next time. Have a great night. Goodbye.